Before ever playing Sons of the Forest, I assumed the game was mostly focused on survival and crafting, with some light horror elements thrown in just to create some tension while you build bases, gather resources and defend yourself from attacks. But damn, was I wrong, and it didn't take me too long to realize. Sons of the Forest might genuinely be one of the scariest horror games I ever played, without relying on almost any of the traditional horror tropes that most horror games depend on. In most, if not all horror games I've played, events are heavily scripted. Jumpscares are placed by the developers ahead of time, music and sound effects are constantly used to create tension, and every puzzle or objective has to be completed in a specific order. And because of that, most playthroughs end up feeling relatively similar to one another. But Sons of the Forest does none of that. From the very first minute, every new game spawns you in a different location somewhere on the island, which means that immediately you're already making different decisions, taking different paths, using different approaches, and prioritizing different things. But no matter where you start, you're still alone in an isolated place. One of the first things I noticed the moment I started walking through the forest was the sound, or rather the lack of it. There's no music. All you hear is the environment around you. The game doesn't really tell you where to go or what to do, and after crashing onto the island you gather a few supplies scattered around the crash site and gain access to a GPS map, which allows you to track the location of your missing teammates through the tracker they were carrying. And that's probably the first thing most players will try to do. It's one of the only leads the game gives you, but you're never truly forced to follow it. That's what makes it feel so different from most horror games. It forces you to rely on your own common sense. And common sense is exactly what you will need if you want to survive. The more I played Sons of the Forest, the less I treat it like a game, and the more I started treating it like an actual survival situation. You begin making decisions that prioritize your safety and well-being. Things like finding food, clean water, looking for a safe place to spend the night, avoiding dense forests after dark, and maybe the most important of all, avoiding confrontation whenever possible, once you realize you're not alone on that island. You will eventually encounter different tribes living there, and before taking any action, you might want to observe them and their behavior carefully, because they don't all react the same way. Some are far more hostile than others, some seem more curious than aggressive, and some others might not be entirely human. And the way you approach each encounter can completely change its outcome. You constantly feel like you're being watched, and there's a high chance you actually are. While exploring open areas, you often hear distant calls or movement through the trees somewhere nearby, long before you ever see anything. And during the day, this can already be very unnerving, but at night it's terrifying. My first night went by somewhat quietly, but during the second one, I discovered one of the game's most chilling mechanics. Nighttime is dark, and I really mean that. Without a light source, everything becomes completely pitch black, and even with the help of a lighter or a campfire, your vision only reaches a couple of meters in front of you. Everything beyond that remains in complete darkness. So when that second night came, I was finally ready to go to sleep until morning, and I got chills all over my body when the game suddenly notified me you can't sleep while enemies are nearby. So I immediately got up, I began circling the area trying to spot anything around me, which was nearly impossible until I got close. Really close. I had no idea how many of them were out there. I tried to take them down one by one while constantly checking behind me every few seconds, because the only other option was running into a complete dark forest and hoping for the best. And all of that, it's something you will have to go through just for surviving in the island. But if you want to keep progressing the actual story, it will require you to explore its cave system, and that might be even more horrific than the night encounters. Because on top of everything I just described, now you also have the claustrophobic effect, and you know you're trapped in there with something else that doesn't want you there, but you need to go through those places. I honestly panic every time I had to explore a cave, and I only wanted to get out of there fast. I have a lighter, but yeah, it doesn't do much. Okay, yeah, it does help. There's people there. Fuck. Jesus. What? Oh! Oh! Fuck! What is this? Give me all of that. Come on. Fuck. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, 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 no. I think there's something... Oh, hell. Something else there, but... There's no way, there's no way. Go, 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 go. Fuck, go. All of those aspects is what separates this game from most other horror games. The uncertainty of not knowing, even after multiple playthroughs. Not knowing when you'll find someone, not knowing if that someone's gonna be hostile, not knowing where to go or what to do, not knowing who's there at night or lurking during the day, so you're constantly on high alert. But there's also another way you can play this game, if horror is not quite your style, and that is playing on Pacifist mode, which I also started doing myself. This mode keeps everything the same, the story, the map, wildlife, mechanics, everything, but removes the enemies, and it's such a change in pace and general vibe. You still have to find clues and figure things out by yourself, but now it's only you and Calvin on a deserted island, so the crafting and survival aspect becomes the main focus. And it's really enjoyable, to be honest. I've been having a blast on Pacifist, just exploring the island, building cabins and shelters, gathering resources to survive, while also trying to uncover what really happened to the people that were missing there. It's really enjoyable, and the game looks great. Getting to explore this forests, mountains all around the coast without having to check your back every few seconds is a really cool experience. Hey, I just wanted to take a second and thank you guys. Honestly, I'm kinda overwhelmed by all the support this channel has been getting lately. I started making these videos because I genuinely love video games, and I don't really have many people around me in real life to talk about them or share my thoughts about all the cool things I find in them. So I thought, why not make a channel and try to connect with people that feel the same way? That's pretty much the goal, for lack of a better term, of the channel. It's not really about acting like some authority or some objective reviewer. It's mostly just about sharing gaming experience, appreciating games, and having a place where people can talk about the things they enjoy about them. So thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next one.